What do you make of that, and how will the market react?
Well, first of all, it's been a crazy month ever since Trump took office. There's been loads of executive orders, a lot of them centered around energy and some around government, some around immigration, government efficiency, and quite honestly, some of the things that he's signed as executive orders, there's legal questions on whether he could or should. And so there's a saying, do you ask permission or forgiveness? And he seems to be in the camp of, I'm just going to do it and ask for forgiveness later. So there's a lot of moves that he's making from an executive standpoint that are questionable, especially from a strategy perspective, such as the tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and Chinese imports. I mean, ultimately, the bearer of burden of those tariffs is actually the importer. So the American importer is actually bearing the burden of that cost. Now, there's a short-term inflationary effect on that, but long term, that should dissuade some of that energy flow. And Canadian imports were kind of discounted to a 10% tariff. I still think that's a little misguided, but that's my 2 cents for what it's worth sitting here in Colorado. But in reference to the sanctions on Iran and Russia, so these sanctions have been in place. There's been economic sanctions that have been in place, and Iran in particular has grown from 1.8 million barrels a day to over 3.2. So I color me skeptical. I do not think it's going to have any impact whatsoever unless there's actions that in my view, would be unfortunate, such as some actions of force. So I would be very skeptical of any sanction really taking root. There's probably going to be some minor impacts, but I don't think it's going to be major.
Okay, thanks, Brian.